What is going on, guys? We are back with another video, and it's been a long time since I've done one of these types of videos, but I was thinking about it. I don't know what brought it up, but I was thinking about Calvin freaking Johnson. As a Packer fan, I've been treated to some pretty damn good talent in the NFC North. I'll tell you what. I mean, I always love Peterson. I always love Calvin Johnson. I don't care. You know, I really don't care that they're rivals. Like, at one point, best quarterback, best running back, best wide receiver in the entire league, all in one division. Obviously, things have changed quite a bit, and now only one of those things remains. Best running back, not best quarterback, of course. Aaron Rodgers. I mean, come on now. Tom Brady's a beast. Might do something with him at some point. But, of course, we have Calvin Johnson. Oh, shit, I have him at 30. Whatever. Actually, that makes sense because he would have been 30. Yeah, you know, secret me knows. Let's get his development trade up to superstar, I suppose. That's probably important. But, of course, the Lions, they didn't have the worst season in the world. They actually played pretty well. A lot of people do argue that Calvin Johnson, you know, losing, quote-unquote, losing Calvin Johnson was the best thing to happen to Matthew Stafford. He had a career year while not having the all-time beast Calvin Johnson himself, one of the most dominating wide receivers of all time. Is that true? Is it true? A lot of people think, oh, he did force it a lot to him, that's true, 100%. But what would this team, let's just assume everything, you know, falls in a line. Let's just assume they still go for, you know, spend decent money on Marvin Jones, and that turns out well because, you know, for some reason, I don't know, it just does. And everyone else is still looking up to the man, physically and mentally, because, you know, he was a giant. What would have happened, you know? And, of course, this is 100% the roster, but let's just say he didn't retire last season, well, for this last season, and let's just see where these Lions can go. I don't know if we're going to do just 1 year, we're going to do multiple years. I don't know if I'm going to make these what-if styles more of a regular thing on the channel, but for the most part, they're very easy to make, and they actually are kind of relevant to me. Week 17, let's see the news. Did we make the playoffs again? Did we miss? Were we better than last year? What's going to be the case? And let's take a look. We missed the playoffs at 6-10. The question, however, Tom Brady MVP, the question, however, is how good of a season did we have? Matthew Stafford lit it up. Not sure how we missed the playoffs considering that. Calvin Johnson, the best receiver on the squad. Really good receiving core. The defense must have really let us down. I mean, we had a really damn good season. I mean, if you resim this without Calvin, and we have nowhere near the offensive season that we just had, defense had to be bad. What is the offense? Number 7. Defense was probably in late 20s, I would assume. 32nd overall. I think it's going to be a little weird here. Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. It's funny. It's going to be weird because I mentioned, and I kind of talked about this video as the first what if in a while, but I'm going to post this after. I would assume it's already come out. Who, you know, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, and it's really ironic that comes along right here. But let's take a look. Did we have any awards? Stafford was number 5. Tahir Whitehead was number 5 also in defensive. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Calvin Johnson was number 4. 92 overall rookie, can't get the job done. That is embarrassing. But we had a good season. I'm going to give it another go. Darius Slay was the best DB. I'm going to give it another go. Let's see how much XP Calvin has, by the way. He's old, but he technically was a rookie. They used the XP already. He's a 93 overall. We do regress a little bit. Let's move on to the offseason. I want to see, you know, where Calvin Johnson's stats are because, of course, he is going to regress. I mean, he's 30 plus, and once you hit 29 in Madden franchise, if you didn't know, now you know, you start to deteriorate. Your stats go down. Wow. I don't know how this is even possible, the timing. Never do I ever see the Packers win the Super Bowl in Sim. Calvin Johnson already proving somehow, I don't know, in some weird way, to be beneficial to the Packers. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Does this A mean Tom Brady didn't retire year 1 without any age altering? And 2, B, Aaron Rodgers threw 7 touchdowns in the Super Bowl. Holy shit, he's the GOAT. Jesus Christ. But did Tom Brady not retire? What is going on in this league? I'm telling you right now, this is a normal roster other than Calvin Johnson. Life is being weird. So we got a bunch of rejection contracts. Got some acceptances too, though. Let's take a look at the free agents. See if anyone was signed that wasn't expected. It didn't allow his age to go. Yeah, Tom Brady is 40 and he's still playing. What in the world? And he isn't regressing. Well, I mean, I don't know if he is or isn't, but 94 throw power with those stats still. I'm so shocked. This is a normal roster, I can promise you. I don't know what's going on at all. But let's take a look at Calvin Johnson. I believe his regression would have started. He went from 93 to 92. He's still really damn good. I'll tell you what. I based that off of his Team of the Week card from Madden 16, by the way, if you didn't know. But we'll do another season or two while Calvin's still decent. And we'll see if we can make a Super Bowl happen. Week 17 again. Are we going to be disappointed? The Packers already took a Super Bowl. Can anyone else in this division do it? And it's not going to be us, who are 7-9, but the Packers once again go 11-5, with Matthew Stafford having yet another great season, even better than yet last year. Calvin Johnson also has a better season than last year. The rest of the receiving core not quite as great. Offensive line, it's about similar. Haloti Ngata with a lot of tackles for loss. Darius Slay still performing at a very high level. Let's take a look. Offensive, 4th this time, jumping from 7 to 4. What about the defense? It probably had to be I was about to say mid-20s. 21st, I would assume we barely missed out on not the Super Bowl, the playoffs. Do we have any sort of awards? Calvin Johnson might have had best wide receiver. Question is, did he? And the answer to that question is no. He was number 3. Defensively, obviously not going to get anything there. I mean, I think we'll do one more. We are going to see who wins the Super Bowl this year, though. Is it going to be the Packers again? The Packers never make it to the Super Bowl, especially not back-to-back. And I will show you guys, at least this season. I can't show you last season. I'm not force winning them. Not really sure where they're, where the, what is it called? The motivation would be for that. I mean, I'm a Packer fan, but I'm not sure where that would be relevant. Let's take a look, though. I guess we'll be able to see who wins the Super Bowl off of this as well. Packers, we have the Oilers. Regular season, wow, what a game. I want to see the stats on that game. 45-56. Look at that. That is 190 rush yards. Once again, proving the Packers. Oh, Eddie Lacy's still a Packer. Surprise there. And the Chiefs beat the Packers. Interesting. Wow, completely locked down. From one of the greatest, maybe the greatest Super Bowl performance of all time to one of the worst Super Bowl performances of all time. What are the chances of that, by the way? That is ridiculous. So now we are going into our last season with Calvin Johnson resurrected, and he's still looking decent. I don't think you would be really mad with having a 6'5", 235-pound, 89 speed beast. I think the age is a little off. I think he probably should be maybe 1 year older. It's a little weird, though. It's just a little weird to deal with because of the timing of the league and the timing of his age and all that. It's just a little off, so, bear with me with that. Week 17 here we go. We couldn't get it done the first 2 years. What's the chances we get it done here? But maybe Calvin Johnson at 32+ years old. Nope. Not a chance. 6-10. As per real life history, Calvin Johnson has done well, and this is where he, I would assume, finally falls off for good. Still not the worst season ever. Packers at 12-4, their best season yet. Can they beat the Texans? If they can't, that's a joke. They win 45-20. So the Packers, Calvin Johnson coming back, allows the Packers to take 3 straight Super Bowl trips and win 2 of them. I don't know why. I really don't know why. It's very shocking. The Packers have a decent team, I suppose, but I don't know what to tell you guys. Whenever I do tons of rebuild, tons of this and that, tons of simulation, and I never see the Packers do this well. Oh shit, who did they lose to? The Falcons. Thank God they didn't make it to the Super Bowl. I guess maybe they did make it to the championship game and we just won. I say we because I'm a Packer fan, but that's the verdict. Calvin Johnson it's good for him. Calvin Johnson not retiring is good for him financially. I don't know about physically. I would assume that was the main reason. Now, I think he did mention something about his body deteriorating. Financially and statistically, good decision for Calvin to come out of retirement. I actually kind of curious to see where that would place him all time. I'm actually going to probably do that, those stats. But assuming our boy Calvin Johnson retires after this year, which, let's be honest, with him being, 33, 34 at this point, maybe a little older, I don't know, and regressing this far, we're going to say he retires, which puts him at 3rd overall above the true GOAT, Randy freaking Moss himself, as the 3rd greatest wide receiver of all time. Kinda, because, with this total, it does bring him to 114 touchdowns receiving, and that puts him about, 30, 40 behind Randy Moss, likes of Randy Moss, likes of Terrell Owens. Jerry Rice is almost at 200. Historically, Hall of Fame-wise, playing these 2-3 extra years would solidify him. The true winners from this are the Packers. Let's be honest. 2 Super Bowl wins, 3 trips. Jordy Nelson retires after a Super Bowl win. That seems weird. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any more what-if scenarios or maybe even historic rebuild teams you would like to see, let me know. Of course, if they're not on the rosters, the actual downloadable community files, I'm going to have to make them myself. So keep that in mind. Hope you guys did enjoy this. Like it if you did, I suppose. I mean, that's about it. And hope you guys come back for next video. But until next video, see ya!